Behind the Filter: The Silent Addiction Crisis Among Black Women. Have you ever posted a perfect selfie while your world was falling apart? That contrast between what we show and what we hide is where today's conversation begins. I recently had the extraordinary privilege of interviewing India Parker, whose groundbreaking work on addiction in Black communities has transformed how we understand this crisis. India isn't just a researcher, she's a revolutionary, a healer, a truth teller who has walked into spaces where Black women's pain has been invisible for generations and said, I see you. Her compassionate approach to addressing substance use disorders, specifically among young Black women, has created ripples of healing across communities that have historically been overlooked, underserved, and frankly misunderstood. What struck me most during our conversation wasn't just the statistics, though they are staggering, but the stories behind them. The young women who smile for Instagram while battling demons in private, the college students who excel academically while self medicating their trauma, the high achievers who look like they have it all together but are silently drowning. Let's be real for a minute. When we talk about addiction in America, whose faces do we usually see? Not ours, not Black women, not the church sister with the beautiful voice, not the team lead at the Fortune 500 company, not the girl with the perfect aesthetic on social media. But India Parker's research reveals a truth we need to confront. About 17.2% of Black people aged 12 and older experienced substance use disorder in 2021. That's nearly 1 in 5 of us. Our sisters, our friends, maybe even ourselves. And here's the part that breaks my heart: nearly 90% of those who need treatment don't receive it. 90%. Why? Because shame is a prison, because stigma keeps us silent, because strong Black women aren't supposed to struggle. We're supposed to save everybody else. But today, I want to talk about what it means to save ourselves, to put down the cape, to step into our soft girl era, not just with cute outfits and aesthetic photos, but with radical honesty about our pain and our healing. This isn't just about substances, this is about survival. India Parker shared a fascinating study with me from a 2025 publication in Addictive Behaviors Reports. Researchers examined cannabis use disorder among young Black and Hispanic adults and found something we intuitively know but rarely discuss. Many participants were using cannabis not for recreation, but as medicine for emotional wounds they had no other way to treat. Think about that. When therapy is inaccessible, whether because of cost, cultural barriers, or simply not finding providers who look like you, people find other ways to numb their pain. One young woman in the study, a 22-year-old pre law student, described smoking every night just to quiet her mind enough to sleep. I'm the first in my family to go to college, she said. Everyone's counting on me. I can't afford to fall apart. So instead of seeking help for her anxiety, she self medicated. She maintained a 3.8 GPA while slowly developing a dependency that began to take over her life. But here's where hope enters the story. This research led universities in Chicago and Atlanta to create targeted outreach specifically connecting young Black women with culturally relevant resources. Resources where they could see themselves reflected, where they could speak their truth without judgment, where they could learn healthier ways to cope with stress and trauma. And it worked. Young adults who participated in these programs reported fewer substance use symptoms over time. They found community, they found healing. The pre law student I mentioned, She connected with a Black female therapist through one of these programs who helped her develop stress management techniques that didn't involve cannabis. She learned to set boundaries with family expectations. She found a support group of other first generation college students who understood her pressure. 6 months later, she was sleeping better naturally than she ever had with cannabis. But we can't all wait for a university program to save us. Sometimes salvation starts with a conversation. With Breaking the Silence, India Parker emphasized something powerful in our interview. Seeking help isn't weakness, it's strength, it's courage, it's wisdom. Let that sink in for a minute. In a world that expects Black women to carry everyone else's burdens, taking care of your own mental health is a revolutionary act. Another revelation from India's research showed something equally important about why treatment often fails our community. National data shows that up to 90% of Black Americans with substance use disorders don't get treatment. The barriers are real: lack of affordable care, distrust in medical systems that have historically harmed us, and cultural pressure to keep our struggles private. Don't air your dirty laundry, our grandmothers told us. But what happens when keeping secrets makes us sick? India shared the story of a 35-year-old executive who nearly lost everything to alcohol addiction because she was terrified that seeking help would destroy her carefully constructed professional image. Who would trust me to lead a team if they knew I was falling apart at home? She reasoned. So she hid her vodka in water bottles and scheduled her hangovers around important meetings, all while her health deteriorated. Grassroots organizations are finding solutions. The National Alliance for Recovery has launched confidential helplines staffed by counselors from similar backgrounds. Churches have started wellness ministries offering discreet referrals. Online forums provide safe spaces where Black women can speak freely without fear of judgment. These approaches work because they understand something fundamental. Healing happens in community. Healing happens when we feel seen, not judged. Healing happens when the person across from us says, "Me too," instead of "How could you?" That executive I mentioned, she finally found help through a church wellness program that connected her with a treatment center specializing in professionals. They protected her privacy while helping her heal. 3 years later, she's not only sober, she's mentoring other Black women executives who are struggling silently. Several major cities now report double-digit increases in engagement at local clinics after implementing these culturally attuned strategies. That's not just a statistic. That's lives being transformed. That's daughters coming home to their mothers. That's women reclaiming their futures. But there's another dimension to this conversation that feels especially relevant today. India Parker shared research from Pew Research Center showing that about one quarter of African American social media users report addiction to these platforms. And this digital dependency is closely linked with increased substance experimentation. Let's pause on that. Social media, the place where we go to escape, to connect, to build our brands, can become its own kind of trap, especially for young, attractive women who are often targeted more aggressively online and whose curated images mask struggles no one else can see. Think about it. How many times have you posted a highlight reel while going through your darkest moments? How many times have you scrolled through perfectly filtered lives while feeling completely broken inside? This digital world we inhabit creates new vulnerabilities, but it also creates new possibilities for healing. Digital literacy workshops are teaching young women how algorithms amplify risky behaviors. Survivor led panels are sharing firsthand stories about breaking free from both digital dependency and substance abuse. Supportive group chats are providing accountability partners outside toxic online environments. And it's making a difference. Participants show measurable drops in both social media overuse and substance experimentation. They're learning to be present in their real lives, not just their digital ones. They're discovering that authentic connection heals in ways that likes and comments never can. As India Parker so eloquently put it during our interview, behind every filter is a real person with real struggles and real strength. This matters because our relationships profoundly influenced our vulnerability to addiction. Studies show that coping motives, including relationship stress, strongly influence substance use among young Black women. The people we surround ourselves with, both online and offline, can either pull us deeper into destructive patterns or help lift us toward healing. Choose your circle wisely, sisters. Your life may literally depend on it. So, where do we go from here? I want to challenge each of you today, not with platitudes or easy answers, but with a radical proposition. What if we created a world where Black women didn't have to be strong all the time? What if vulnerability wasn't seen as weakness, but as wisdom? What if asking for help wasn't shameful, but celebrated? I believe we stand at the threshold of a revolution, not just in how we treat addiction, but in how we treat ourselves and each other. A revolution where filters fall away and authentic healing begins. Today, I'm asking you to be part of this revolution. If you're struggling, take that brave first step toward help. If you're healing, share your story when you're ready. Your journey might be someone else's roadmap home. If you're thriving, create space for others to be honest about their pain without judgment. Because the most powerful filter we need to break isn't on Instagram, it's the one that keeps us silent about our suffering. The one that says Black women must always be strong, always be together, always be the rock love for everyone else. It's time to shatter that filter, to speak our truth, to save ourselves with the same fierce love we've always given to others. As India Parker reminds us, our healing isn't just personal, it's political, it's revolutionary, it's a declaration that Black women's well being matters. And that declaration, my friends, is how we truly change the world. Thank you